NBA draft, but not all the scouting reports are good. An anonymous scout says Trae could, quote, be really damn good, but I also see him being a backup point guard. I wouldn't touch him. Now, the scout added, to me, he's a wannabe Steph, and there's only one Steph. He feels more like an Eddie House.
An Eddie House?
Where he might have big games, but the turnovers, lack of size, lack of defense.
Wait, is that you?
You know,
Turnovers, lack of size, lack of defense?
Sound like I can't play, right?
that was like super shady, right?
I need him to
But
put
he
his
can't.
name. Can he put his name on it? And if he didn't play longer than me and got a championship, he needs to button his name.
Not speak on it, right?
For real, real
Clearly.
talk. Put your
Joining
name on
us
it. Put
now.
some respect on mine.
FS1 NBA analyst Eddie House. Eddie, you know.
11 years?
Yeah.
A championship?
You know what,
Eddie?
Eddie?
Eddie, you got a decade under your
If he
belt.
don't knock it off,
Eddie,
he
we're
sound
going
like a dude who
to
played
put
2 or 3 years.
all that shade aside. And I just want to
Right.
talk to you about how high in the draft do you think Trae Young should go?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's between 6 and 9 to me. I think those are the only teams that really need point guards. You look at 6, Orlando, they're really needing a point guard right now. You go to 7, Chicago, they got Chris Dunn, who they traded for.
Right.
But do you,
Well,
are you, yeah.
But then you got Levine at 2.
You got Levine at the 2 over there. The Cavs look interesting. And I think you're going from 6 to 9. The Knicks, they got.
How good is he?
I think, to be honest with you, defensively, he was exposed a little bit, but he has a chip on his shoulder, it seems like, that he wants to prove that he can play defense. I think the confidence, everybody's exuding confidence right now. Everybody's saying they're the best player in the draft, what they're going to do when they come in the league. I think if he comes in the right situation, has some good pieces around him, and thinking about getting his team off first and being like a point guard, the leader, the extension of the coach on the floor, I think he'll have a really good career, and he could be good if he thinks about getting his team involved first, because I believe that his best attribute is his passing ability.
Okay, so what about this comparison between Eddie House and Trae Young?
Well, he want to get 11 years in and be a world champion. I mean, I think anybody will sign up for that. You know, when you stepping into the league.
But the anonymous quote's point was that Eddie House capable of big games, but liability in other areas.
Well,
fair or not fair?
I think it's not fair, because if you look at it, I was in big games. If you're a liability, you're not going to be on the court in a 24-point comeback against the Lakers in the championship. You're not going to be on the court game 7, diving for loose balls, making plays, changing the momentum of a basketball game. So the comparison, it sounds like somebody salty, probably somebody I gave some business to throughout the course of my career. Yeah, I gave him some business, and so he just, that was his way. But he just put his name on it next time. You know, you got my name in your mouth, you know, put your name next to it.
But it was actually a positive, negative quote.
It was a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, it was.
That's what it was. You ain't going to pull that off on me.
Oh, what he did, he was sneak fighting. He sneak fighting with
threw a rock and hit his hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
The point guard position is one of the 2 deepest positions in the NBA. It's also, the game is played differently now than even when you came in the league. It is more, teams will trade you 2 for 3. So now the game is played behind the arc. He seems to be able to get the 3 ball off. Now, Skip, you said he's more of a set shot.
Yeah, he's not a big jump shooter.
Right. No,
you got up on your shot.
Yeah.
It was hard to defend your shot. You'd go up quick and you'd get some height on your release.
Yeah. So the thing is, look, he's going to go in the lottery. I like the Knicks. See, the Knicks, they talk about, well, they got Neil Keeler and they got Moutier. Neither one of them can shoot. And you get this.
He'd work in New York.
Yeah. You can sell it. They like, oh, man, he make a couple of threes.
He might.
Ooh, the guard going to go crazy because they just waiting for somebody to wrap their arms around Skip. Because when they had Jeremy Lin, Skip, remember when they had Jeremy Lin? The guard was buzzing like it was the early 70s when they had Willis Reed.
For a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it was. But they need that. They need a splash player, and so I see him going to. Ideally, the Knicks would be a perfect fit for him. But like I said, because the point guard position is so deep, he's going to have to. You know what? Maybe his offense suffers a little bit, Skip, because he's going to have to get in his mind that I got to play D. Because these point guards, Skip, they got 10 of them. And all of them in a given night will hit you side your head for 30 plus. And if you're not careful, James Harden will get 40 on you. So will Steph, so will Russ, so will Kyrie. So he might suffer a little bit offensively, be it scoring and assisting the ball, because he's going to be tired because he's going to have to stay in front of some people. Or he's going to have to come out the game, because I can't have you in the game if you let the guy every time open the door and he just come and lay the ball up.
So LeBron James has endorsed Trae Young because Trae went to many of LeBron's basketball camps, and LeBron immediately saw a precocious passer. He's not a good passer. He has potential to be a great passer. To me, I told Shannon earlier in the show, excuse me, I'm going to knock your phone off, that this could become the best little man passer in Stockton because he measured 6'1.5" in his sneakers. So he's about Stockton size, 6'1"-ish. And John Stockton played with strength and would defend you, get up in you. But John Stockton could distribute like crazy and was a very clever, as you know, creative passer.
He had Malone, too.
Yeah,
He had Malone, and that helped on the break.
Somewhere.
Okay, all right, I got you. But to me, the one great strength of Trae Young is canceled by so many weaknesses of Trae Young because he's slight. He's not an explosive athlete. He's not a leaper at all. He could not finish in Big 12 games, and it got worse and worse and worse because he doesn't. There's no Iverson going on here where he can just explode above the trees and get to the rim. And he's a decent shooter, but a streak shooter. And once he goes cold, he's shooting from so far out that he just goes colder and colder and colder. And I remind you, even though he led the nation in scoring and assists, he also led in turnovers because those creative passes, they're going to go astray occasionally because he had the greenest light in college basketball under Lon Kruger. And I'm not sure you can do that in pro basketball and get away with it. So I watched probably 25 of his 32 games because I'm an Oklahoma fan. And what did I see over the last 11? They lost 9 of their last 11 games because he got worn down, especially in the Big 12, because they just punished him. He won't try to defend anybody, so he becomes a liability on defense. His teammates get frustrated because his guy's just going to go off. And in the end, he gets beat up and pushed around so easily that, remember, this is just 32 games that he played last year. He's got to play 50 more, 82 games? Really?
But I don't think that, see, last year he had the burden of doing everything. He had to score. He had to be the facilitator.
Oh, yeah,
so
like
he had
LeBron.
he had to find somewhere, exactly, where he had to find somewhere where he had to take off a little bit. Can my teammates step up and give me something? I'm leading in assists and I'm leading. I'm getting y'all involved, obviously. And I think the coaches did him a disservice as well by just continuously kept the ball in his hands and didn't do anything to get him off the ball and get him the ball on the move sometimes, not have him bring it up 94 feet with pressure. And what the Big 12 did was they caught tape on him, so they would give him different looks. They'll trap him, half-court trap sometimes, full-court pressure, then the pick and roll they'll trap, and sometimes they'll just hard show and get back. So it kept him thinking. And I think that was also a disservice that the coaches did to him. They didn't get him in that film room and show him, hey, this is how you're going to have to attack it. As soon as you see this, you got to get rid of the basketball. You can't pound it a little bit. So I think he wore out, and he's not going to have that workload in the NBA. So I think he'll be able to translate it, carry on. His shot will be a little better than it was leading into the end of the season because he was wore down.
Well, that's the thing is, Skip. It looks. I think the NBA will take. They draft more on need than probably the NFL. Because, the best player, if I got the Broncos, if you got 3 defensive backs, even if the best defensive players are back, they're not taking him, Skip. The NBA, they got somebody. Now, I don't see anybody leaping up to come moved up to get him now. I don't see that happening. But if he somehow gets past, let's say, Cavs take him out. Is he going to change their fortunes? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, LeBron leaves. They keep Kevin Love. Is Trae Young really going to change the fortunes of the Cavaliers? They're going to be in the lottery. Next year, they'll get a top 5 pick because that's how bad they're going to be. So with that being said, Skip, I believe because he can shoot the ball from that now, he had a greener light than Steph had at Davidson.
That is true.
And Steph had a green light. But this dude here is unbelievable. I believe he'll take better shots. And like Eddie said, he won't be asked to do as much. So therefore, he will be a little better than what he showed over the last, say, 3 weeks of the last 3 weeks to a month of the season. He's better than what he showed, Skip, because at some games he was like 7 of 28 and
He was wore out.
He was shooting threes from half court. Come on, bro.
He was wore. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If he gets past the Cavs in 9, you could look at Phoenix to try to move up and maybe try to nab him and try to create
Compare those two
a young core, Ayton, Booker, and Trae Young. Because they got the 16th
to your
pick,
point,
they got the 30th pick.
As long as he's just willing to pass the basketball and just play pure point.
Well, he already told you he want to lead the NBA in scoring and assists.
Yeah.
So he done told you that he want to do both of those things now.
So he's
But that'll get checked as soon as he gets to the locker room, and if he's in it, like you ain't gonna be able to lead the league in scoring if you're playing with Devin Booker or anybody that's a big time scorer.
Right.
So he'll figure out.
That's only been done once in the history of the NBA, and that was Nate Tiny Archibald. Skip. He led the league in scoring and assists. Because think about it. I mean, Russ had 31, but then Harden leads in assists. Harden leads in scoring, and then Russ leads in assists. That's really hard to do.
Super
And
hard.
it takes a lot of. And first of all, you're not about to come in and get that many shots where you can lead the team in score, lead the league in score.
If he's in Orlando, if he's in Orlando, he might get the opportunity to get shots like that.
Gordon said, "I want my shots too."
Yeah, but Gordon's not a guy. Gordon get his off of transition, things like that, and you could create sets for him, but he'll have the ball in his hand the majority of the time. He'll be able to dictate off the pick and roll and dictate pace and whenever he wants to get his shot. Because I think his handle is impeccable. His decision making is really good. It's just, he turned the ball over because he had so much. And that's going to happen, but the turnovers will go down, and I think the assist it will be there.
So I'm going to say to Eddie House what I said to Shannon Sharp earlier in the show. If I gave you the tape of Oklahoma's final loss of the year, first round of the NCAA tournament to Rhode Island in overtime, they lost 83-78, 6 turnovers in that game from Trae Young. And then I showed you the final game of the NCAA tournament, the championship game, and the most outstanding player in that game was Dante DiVincenzo. If I showed you those 2 tapes and I said, and you didn't know anything about reputations and you weren't blinded by the hype, and I said, which player will be better in the NBA? You would say this kid who was the MOP.
Yeah, well, that's watching that one game. But if I watched the body of work, I would be like, DiVincenzo has the NBA body, the athleticism. So I think
He is a
it's going to translate
better.
Yeah, better in the NBA.
He was a 40%.
But watching the
three-point
whole season,
Okay,
and the whole body of work, I was.
And I would ask you to go watch another game against their arch rival in the Big East at Xavier, a number 1 seed in this year's NCAA tournament. He went for 21, 9, and 9 in that game. That's big time.
He's a beast.
Can he be Rozier? Can he do what Rozier did for the Celtics?
Rozier more athletic.
And
No,
DiVincenzo?
Trae.
Trae? Heck no.
He's not as
He's
athletic.
He's not an explosive athlete.
He's not as athletic. But he can't do those athletic. But I think he could. I think he'll make better plays than Rozier.
Somebody put that ball in the basket for 27.5 points a game. Somebody did that.
Yeah, somebody did do that.
So he can't get half that in the NBA?
Yeah, he could. I think he's going to be a good scorer.
If Lonzo scored 10 points a game, you tell him this man can't score 12, 13?
Yeah, for sure. He for sure.
Come on, Skip.
I think he's going to be a better passer than he is a scorer. His scoring will come later.
Okay, how about this, Skip?
Lonzo
Better
Ball, is 6 feet 7 inches tall, and he ranked 24th in the NBA in individual defensive win shares. That's pretty good for a rookie. 24th overall. This kid's going to be 124th at best.
Better rookie season. Lonzo or Trae Young?
Oh,
I'll take that 10, 7, and 7. I'll take that. I'll take it.
Sound like a bet right there.
Yeah.
So what if this kid has like 14, 5, and 5?
Do we get to count defense?
I don't really know
Do we
how
count
I
steals?
don't know how we get to quantify defense.
Okay. Steals, do they count?
Yeah.
You led your team in rebounding most of the year.
Well, he's
second on your team in
Skip,
rebounding.
a man 6 foot tall is not going to lead his team in rebounding unless it's in high school.
Okay, well then, do you want to take the bet off the table then?
No,
you just backed out.
No.
Huh?
No, because you want to put all that other stuff. You want
all that other stuff counts. It's called basketball.
Okay, who has the high PER?
Huh?
I'm just looking at points, rebound, assists.
Plus, minus.
That's all I'm looking at.
I love plus
I
minus.
hate that stat.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking
at.
That. That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Well,
points, rebound, assists.
Well, Trae Young's already turned into LeVar Ball because he talks a better game than he can play.
All these kids are talking. All of them coming out saying they're the best. Everyone say I should be the number 1 pick. Everybody. Well, I mean, they're supposed to think that, though. They're supposed to have confidence.
I mean, Aiden, after his workout, he came out of his workout from Phoenix. Oh, I'm going number 1. I'm done. I ain't working out for nobody else.
Bagley tweeted was like the audacity for him to say that. And then he went worked out and said, no, I should be the number 1 pick.
Is this agent talk? Is this how?
No, this is our. This is
I know,
them.
but I'm just saying. Is this what the agents tell them?
No, I just think they really believe that. Though.
Yeah.
I think they believe it. And they should believe it. They put in the work and they deserve to enjoy this moment and have the opportunity to be the number 1.
With that body, ain't nobody going over Aiden.
No, I think Aiden, but I mean Bagley, you can't go wrong with Bagley, man. In the end, the fastest big man. They run the floor. Second jump is faster than somebody that I've seen since Sean Marion. I mean, and he's 7 feet tall, and you can only teach him positioning and film session.
Did you see Aiden on that box?
No, I seen that.
On
I
the
seen
block?
Aiden live, and I seen back. They both
Either shoulder.
two different type of players.
Eddie, let me ask you this. What's different now, right? We look at when you came out, when you were, getting drafted, and players weren't talking like this, right? Everybody wasn't going first round, #1 pick. What's different now that all these kids really believe in this?
The league is younger. The league is a lot younger. When I came in, it was a grown man's league. It was really grown. Like my rookie season, I had Tim Hardaway, Dwayne Coswell, Don McClain, Anthony Mason, Alonzo Mourning, Dan Marley.
That's
there's OGs out there. You know what I mean? So, and
this is what's different. Social media.
that is the difference too.
That's the game changer.
Yep.
Because think of
Everybody's got their own PR machine in the palm of their hand.
Puma just got back in the sneaker game, Skip, 14 hours ago, and they got 3 of the top 5 players already on there. And they got Rudy Gay. They got Old Clyde. They signed JR is the creative director. That can't help.
Well, they got Jay-Z.
I mean, Jay-Z, excuse me. Skip. Think about it. Jay-Z, oh, man.
I think they're right in the game, man.
They
are.
are.
Star power.
They are.
Yeah.
And the difference, back in the day, you would look at big men really didn't sell shoes. Well, social media, all their followers they got, they're instantly sucked in to understand, oh, this is what I'm putting out. And if you are a fan, they'll usually go pick that up.
And that's the thing, big man, look at the shoes, man. Now, big man sell. KD, look at KD got what, the number 2?
And he wear 22s?
And the low cut it low, they look super
long,
duper
right?
long. But old Bron, but you know who got the number 1 seller, right, Skip? You know who got the number 1 seller.
You know who's the king of shoe
Oh, yeah,
sales?
Skip, we know.
Michael
Skip,
Jordan.
we know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Game over. Next question.
It's that
Thank
time
you.
of the show again. I love it. Eddie House, thank you so much for joining us. That indeed was our hot topic of the day, presented by AARP. We'll be back with more Undisputed